Hi, everybody. Sam here. I am so excited to be here with my friend Terri-Ann for a micro interview. She interviewed me for her show a while back, and when we were talking, I'm like, hold on, I need to interview you to connect you with my women. And so I'm so excited that she's here to share today. If you are new to Safe Heart Connections, what you want, one choice at a time, and maybe something that's said today on this quick micro interview could be the thing to help you get from where you're at to where you want to go next. So Terri-Ann, introduce yourself, tell everybody just a little bit about what I like to call your superhero origin story, and then we'll have a little bit of a chat.
Okay. Normally it's pretty entailed, but today I'll try to keep it under 3 minutes here. My story really began as a child. So I had a lot of trauma going on as a child, go out through my teens, adults. I married a narcissist who were the exact version of who my father was. Fast forward to today, I had a moment. I was already immersed in the world of spirituality and I had a spiritual awakening and I was on a healing journey. And in 2019, my 27-year-old son passed away suddenly from a medical condition. I didn't think I could be any further cracked open than I already was, going through a narcissistic domestic violence situation that I was in with my ex-husband. But let me tell you, I was cracked open again. And in the depths of my grief and the calling for the true work that I was going to do, I needed to find out what it still was that I was holding within me. In the past, I had explored and dabbled into past life work, and I really threw myself into this because I wanted to know more about the connections between my son and I in other lives. And what was it in this life that I had contracted to do because I wanted to do what I needed to do in order not only to honor him, but to heal me and to really honor my soul, right? I wanted my soul to get what it needed while it came here. And so I threw myself into this. I became a heart healer, past life regressionist. I do all types of energy work. But what really drew me to the work that I do now is this unimaginable loss that I suffered and the compassion that I hold for women, and really goes back to reclaiming our power that we have had taken from us eons ago. So my healing is really rooted in ritual, reverence, and realness. I help others transmute their pain into purpose today. That's what I did, and that's what I help women do today.
Thank you for how you're showing up because we have a choice when something really bad like that happens. And some people go one way and they're completely devastated and they're just never ever the same in a bad way. You're never going to be the same as you were, but you're using the situation to uplift and bring more light into the world. And I see that in you, and so I'm really thankful for that. And like most women probably watching, we've all dealt with, if you ever lost a child, though, I think you can speak to the fact that's a different kind of loss. And I have not lost a child, but my sister has, and I've watched them. It's been 20 years now, and it's just not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you for how you're showing up. So tell me, knowing what you said, what kind of how you help in the world, your purpose, for anybody listening or watching today, do you have a tip, a thought, or piece of advice that maybe could impact their life in some way?
I'd say it has to be for me and a lot of the women I help. It's going back to finding the ritual, not just the routine of every day, but the ritual, really getting into grounding in that stillness within your heart space, understanding what that truly, really means when you're grounding into your heart space. You're connecting with the earth, the moon, the sun, all of those things. It's just a way to really ask your soul and get in touch with your soul. What do you need today? I ask myself every morning, body, mind, soul, what do you need today?
Yeah, that's so good. So one of the things that I teach is something called the overflow experience, the overflow effect and the overflow experience, all things overflow. And one of the things I do is host a couple times a week in Safe Heart Connections, the overflow experience. And what that is, we come together, and I've not called it the same thing you have, but we take a moment and we get quiet and we get still. Sometimes I do a soft meditation or something, but most of the time the question is, what do I need most today for me? Not for everybody else, not for some other project, not for work, not for my husband, not for my kids or my grandkids. What do I need most for me? And I have found just because we are women, we are prone to overgive. We're prone to give in toxic ways, and we give to everybody else before we take care of ourselves. And when you can start your day in that moment of what do I need most and have it not be a selfish thing, it's what's going to fill you so you can pour out to others. I
Absolutely.
think that's what you said, right? That's what I heard. And so what
Absolutely.
way,
Yes.
can you give me an example of what that looks like for you? What I do is just a quiet reverence here, sitting right here. And whether or not I'm doing the overflow thing in the community, I usually start my day that way because it helps ground me. Um, but what does it look like for you? Maybe it gives somebody else an idea of what it could look like for them.
Yeah, every day it could be different, right? Depending on what I need. Some days I need to listen some Indian flute music. Some days I may need to listen to drumming. It could be essential oils. It could be body pounding. I do a lot of work with the somatic, the physical body. So body pounding, we're releasing some of that energy that's sitting there just so I can get my body ready for what I'm going to be tuning into, right? Because so often we're so caught up in everything else, as you said, that's going on around us, but also in our physical mind, and we're not really focused on our physical body. So I can start with stuff like that. I may pull cards. Every time is really different what I need. Maybe that day I just need some water and I need to just lay in bed, close my eyes, put my hands on my heart, and just feel the breath within me, knowing that I am a vision of God and that He created me for greatness. So I'm here to do that work.
That's so good. It's so easy. We make it so complicated sometimes. We
We
have to
do.
have this 28-step morning routine with all the things, and we can just truly just lay there with our hands on our heart and say, "Thank you, God. Thank you." And
Absolutely. Yes.
I know why I'm drawn to you. I think that we're different in some ways, but we're very similar. And I think in the ways that matter and how you show up trying to help women reclaim their power through starting with themselves. That's the magic that I think every woman needs. And so I'll make sure that there is a link around this video, whether they're watching, listening, wherever they're at in the community, to where if they want to reach out to you to learn more about any of the programs you have, any of the things you offer, they will be able to reach out and get connected with you. And I think you're in Arizona. Is that correct? Did I remember
I
that right?
am
Yeah. How long have you
not
lived
far
out
from
there?
you. I've been here 14 years. So my husband and I have only been together 11 years, but I've been here 14 years. And I knew when I got here there was something different about Arizona. I had never been to Arizona, but when I got here, I knew my soul was home. And we actually lived in Sedona for about 4 years. My husband owned a bread business for Sara Lee, and we lived up there, and I worked as an energy healer. And those 4 years were right before Anthony had passed. And so there's no coincidences that we were in this spiritual healing, beautiful sanctuary of Sedona while that was going on.
I've heard a lot of people talk about that. That's why I asked. So I knew you would be able to share something about that. Ladies, make sure you click through to learn more about Terri-Ann, and I'm sure that you'll be seeing her around in the community and other things we do because we are definitely kindred spirits for sure. You got any closing thoughts before we wrap up today?
I just love you and your energy, and I'm so
Oh,
grateful for the work that you do with women. And I think it's so important. I have a 15-year-old daughter now, and I never understood what it really meant to be a woman and to have the power that we hold. We can be soft and gracious, or we can be tough and angry, and we are allowed to be all of it. Right? We're women. We are complicated. I'll tell you, I'll be the first to
yes,
tell you, we are
and
complicated.
yes,
And it's
and
okay. It's okay.
yeah,
Embrace it, right? You have to embrace it. This is life, and this life can be hard and it can be daunting and it can pull you under very quickly. So we need other women. So I thank you. I commend you for the work that you do. I appreciate you.
thank you, Terri-Ann. I appreciate you as well. I got to tell you, just since you have a 15-year-old daughter, you will get through this. And my daughter's 33 now, and I have a son that's 28 and two grandkids that are 6 and 12. And I had a woman on a podcast I was on a couple months ago now ask me if if you were a mama of a teenage girl or boy, but she was specifically talking about girls, but this applies for boys as well. What one thing would you do to help her learn to love herself? And my answer surprised me because wasn't expecting the question. But my answer was I would show her how I love myself because we have
Yes.
been conditioned our whole lives to do the opposite of what we really could do and probably should do for ourselves. When she sees you love yourself well and hold boundaries and take time for you, have these morning rituals that are so important, she will do what she sees you do over what she hears you say a million to one. So God be with you
Yes.
because 15, my daughter between 13 and 15 is what I like to affectionately call her stupid phase, but she did come out of it and became a really great older adolescent and now mom. She's a great mom to her boys and yeah, you
Mm.
do
Yeah,
well.
I've been blessed. I had her when I was 40. I had three sons in my 20s, and I had her when I was 40. Now, let me tell you, God gave her to me for a reason, and He almost took her away. She was born sick. So every day that I have with her is a blessing. But through that experience with her dad as a narcissistic abuser,
Uh,
I knew that I didn't want that for her. So I knew that my blessing in that would be to get her away from that. But with kids, like even with my sons, as you talked about it, what came to me was you can tell them and tell them. But if you're not doing it, and she'll call me on my shit today. Let me tell you,
I
if I
love it.
tell her you don't sit at a table where you're not welcome, but then I go do that, she's like, no, mom, you don't do that. Like you're better than that. You don't put up with that shit. So she'll
I
call me
love
on
it.
my stuff.
I love it. That's so good. That's so good. I am so appreciative to be in your sphere and look forward to seeing you soon.
You too. Thank you.
Bye bye.